KPMG, we have a strong purpose. We're here to inspire confidence and to empower change. And I can think of no sector better placed than mining, which needs, I think, empowerment and which needs an inspirational vision, particularly on the continent. And my passion is in social development. I think the footprint of mining companies, the ability to have a positive impact on society is so great. And a vision for the mining sector that leads to shared prosperity for everyone is something we should strive towards. So our contribution as KPMG to that is we've done a study to try and understand where are mining companies investing and what has been the success of those programs. And the mining sector is one of 10 sectors we've looked at, and we've analyzed over 100 companies, and we've seen where are these companies investing and how successful have they been. So for mining companies, we looked at 10, and they've invested collectively over $1 billion in social investment programs. And that's a lot of money. A lot of money is going into this. The scale of the problem is big, and many people, I think, are tempted to think that more money will solve the problem. But actually, I think, whilst there's always room to have more money, if we can try and make sure that the money we are spending is used as effectively and as efficiently as possible, that can perhaps have the greatest impact. And so for these 10 companies, we found that only 4 are publishing a real impact report. So it's starting to doubt, is the money really being used as effectively as possible? We've done some really interesting work in the sector in South Africa and globally, trying to understand the social return on investment. So for every R1 or every $1 that's going into social investment programs, what has been the return, not only to the mining company, but also to the stakeholders that they're trying to impact positive change on? And what we're finding is that best practice suggests that around 5% of the total cost of the program should be spent on monitoring and tracking these impacts. But it's our belief that that's not really happening. Many companies are actually spending more than 5% on tracking, and I think that's unnecessary. But many companies are doing no tracking at all. And so then it's tempting to start to pour more and more money into programs without perhaps standing back and saying, what impact is this having? Is it right for us to do this alone? Isn't there a partner who we could go on this journey with where we can actually maximize the impact? How can we build sustainability into this program so that once the mining company is gone, the impact of the program still remains? And those are really interesting questions that we want to try and unpack, because mining companies are not alone in this. There are governments trying to have a positive impact. Clearly for mining companies, obtaining and retaining a social license to operate is vital. But equally, there are expectations of governments, there are expectations of society on mining companies. Now we're going to be building on this theme at the Indaba. On Sunday, at the ministerial session, I will be facilitating a session which is titled Win-Win Scenarios. How can mining companies and governments collaborate better? And in that, I want to have an honest conversation. Let's really have an honest conversation about what is it that government is willing to do? What is it that mining companies are willing to do? And what is it that both parties need the other person to do? Because that's, I think, when we start to get into the realm of solutions. Because yes, we want to search for win-win scenarios at the end, but in the journey to get there, I think we'll have some win-lose scenarios. What are we willing to give up in order to get to the right point? And let's start to unpack those. Let's work off a common fact base. Let's put emotion and title and those things aside for a moment, because actually the problem is too big for us to allow these things to get in the way. And for us as KPMG, through the experience of working with companies around the world, we will bring to bear stories, anecdotes, data, experiences that hopefully will help share and hopefully will help get people understanding where is best practice, what are things we can learn, but always in a context-specific way. So what works for other companies in other countries may not be right for us on the African continent. And by doing so, our hope is that in a small way, we inspire confidence and we empower change.